Rome. The red dirt. The sun beating down on the Foro Italico. Right now, Eala is playing some of the absolute best tennis we have ever seen from her. She just completely dismantled Magdalena Frech in a flawless two-set victory. And I mean she completely took her apart. Her court coverage was absolute perfection out there. Every single time Frech tried to find a sharp angle, Alex was already there waiting for it. Her strokes were incredibly heavy. Her mind looked completely clear of any doubt. She looked exactly like a player who has finally figured out how to unlock her true massive potential. She stepped onto that famous Italian clay and made a huge statement to the rest of the WTA Tour. The baseline defense of Eala is reaching a completely new level of maturity. But her reward for that dominant win is not a victory lap. Her reward is a second-round date with an absolute nightmare. Enter Wang Xinyu. She is currently the number 31 seed in the world. People all over the tennis community call her the Chinese Sharapova for a very specific reason. It is not just a catchy nickname at all. It is a terrifying warning to anyone standing across the net. Wang stands at a towering 1.82 meters tall. She uses that incredible height to play a brand of tennis that simply overpowers her opponents. She hits the tennis ball incredibly flat and with a terrifying amount of pace. She averages over 3 aces a match, and her ground strokes feel like heavy anvils dropping on the other side of the court. When she steps onto the dirt, she is not looking to engage in long tactical rallies. She has absolutely zero interest in a slow chess match with anyone. She is looking to hit right through you. She wants to dictate every single point with pure, unadulterated power. This match on May 8th is much more than just another spot in the tournament draw. It is a massive collision course. Eala is about to face her ultimate nemesis. She is facing the one player who brings out both the absolute best and the worst in her overall game. Because to understand why this specific matchup in Rome is so incredibly critical, we have to rewind the clock. We have to go back to a cold night in January where Eala had the victory of a lifetime, resting right in the palm of her hand and then painfully let it slip away. Let us go back to Auckland. It is the semifinals of the ASB Classic. The new year has just started. The air is crisp, and everyone is eager to see what the new season will bring to the tour. A young Eala steps onto the fast, hard court and puts on an absolute clinic against a heavily favored opponent. She is going toe-to-toe with Wang Xinyu in a brutal physical test. The crowd is watching an incredible battle of wills unfold right before their eyes. Wang is throwing absolutely everything she has at the teenager. The heavy serves are raining down from the sky. The flat ground strokes are piercing through the court like bullets, trying to break the spirit of the young phenomenon. But Alex is right there fighting back. She is absorbing the incredible pace. She is matching the massive power stroke for stroke. She is defending brilliantly out of the deep corners and finding magical ways to counterpunch down the line. You can hear the crowd getting louder and louder with every single dramatic exchange. They can feel a massive upset brewing in the cold night air. The energy in the stadium is completely electric. Eala is proving to everyone watching that she can genuinely stand face-to-face with the absolute elite of the tennis world. We finally arrive at the defining moment of the entire tournament, the climax of the second set. Eala has fought through the immense physical exhaustion. Her legs are burning. Her lungs are screaming for air. But she has earned match point. She is literally one single point away from taking down this giant. 1 point away from advancing to the final and shocking the entire tennis landscape. The tension in the stadium becomes absolutely suffocating. The fans go completely silent. You can hear a pin drop in the massive arena. You can see the intense focus in the eyes of Eala. You can see the pure belief radiating from her posture. She knows deep down that she belongs on this massive stage. She steps up to the baseline. She bounces the yellow ball. She prepares to serve for the match. Every single spectator is holding their breath. This is the exact moment a rising star officially announces her arrival to the world. She just needs one more good serve, one more solid rally to seal the biggest victory of her young career. The finish line is right there waiting for her to cross it. She tosses the ball high into the air. The rally begins. The suspense is completely unbearable as they trade heavy blows from the baseline, but Wang Xinyu does not flinch. The veteran relies on her massive experience and unleashes a brutal, aggressive return. She refuses to back down. She denies the upset and completely flips the entire momentum of the match in a matter of seconds. That single point changes the entire trajectory of the night. It is a heartbreaking moment for anyone watching in the stands. The victory was right there in her grasp, but the heavy door slammed firmly shut. Have you ever poured your entire heart and soul into a single moment only to watch it slip through your fingers at the very last second? That feeling of crushing disappointment is something every great athlete has to face on their path to glory. It is the ultimate test of true character. If you want to follow the incredible journey of Eala as she battles back from these heartbreaking moments and chases greatness on the world stage, then make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. We are tracking every single step of her historic run this year, and you definitely do not want to miss what happens next. When you face someone who hits the ball as flat and heavy as Wang Xinyu, you are living on borrowed time. And in that second set, the sheer physics of the matchup caught up to Eala. Let us look at the brutal reality of this rivalry. Wang is an imposing force. She stands at 1.82 meters. That height gives her incredible leverage. She does not just hit the ball, she punishes it. Her strokes stay incredibly low to the ground, making defending almost impossible over a long match. As the Auckland match dragged on, the brilliant defense of Eala began to visibly crack. It was not a sudden collapse. It was a slow and agonizing erosion of her energy. Wang started finding her spots on the serve with terrifying precision. We are talking about a player who averages over 3 aces every single match. The free points piled up for the Chinese star. Alex had to work twice as hard for every single baseline rally. The match stretched into an absolute marathon. 2 grueling hours and 48 minutes of pure physical combat. Losing that second set 5-7 after having match point was a massive psychological blow. By the time they reached the deciding third set, the physical tank of the young teenager was running completely empty. Her movement lost a fraction of a step. Wang took the final set 6-4 and walked away with the gritty victory. It was a devastating end to a brilliant run. The physical toll was matched only by the crushing emotional drain. Alex walked off that court knowing she had the giant right where she wanted her, and she still lost. It left experts wondering if she truly had the physical ceiling to compete with the elite heavy hitters. If they played that exact same match on a hard court today, Wang probably wins again. But they are not playing on a hard court. Here is the fundamental reality about professional tennis. The surface dictates the survivor. What happens when you drop a pure power hitter onto the slow grinding red clay of Italy? The entire equation changes instantly. That heartbreaking loss in January did not break the spirit of Eala. She did not dwell on the painful physical disparity. She went right back to the drawing board and used that loss as a strict tactical blueprint. The European clay court season became her ultimate laboratory. I want to pause right here and ask you guys a massive question. Do you genuinely believe a simple surface change is enough to completely flip a bitter rivalry like this on its head? Drop down into the comments right now and tell me if you trust the new elite clay court defense of Eala or the pure, overwhelming, hard-hitting power of Wang. I read every single comment, and your tactical insights are always amazing to see. Over the past few months, we have seen a massive technical upgrade in her game. Her footwork on the dirt is visibly lighter. She is sliding into her defensive shots with completely natural grace. Her racket preparation is significantly tighter. She is no longer getting jammed by heavy incoming pace. But the absolute biggest factor in this upcoming rematch is the red dirt beneath their shoes. Clay is the ultimate great equalizer in the sport of tennis. It completely neutralizes raw, overwhelming power. When Wang hits one of those terrifying flat ground strokes, the thick red clay grabs the ball. It dramatically slows the forward velocity. It makes the heavy ball sit up just a fraction of a second longer. And for a player with the elite defensive instincts of Eala, that tiny fraction of a second is everything. It is the exact difference between an unreturnable winner and a ball she can redirect violently down the line. The shift to the dirt strips away the biggest structural advantage Wang possesses. She has to manually generate her own pace over and over again. The big, powerful hitter has to work significantly harder just to stay in the rally. Eala is not just surviving on clay right now, she is weaponizing it. Look at exactly how she handled Magdalena Freck out there. The defensive court coverage of Eala has truly become an absolute nightmare for anyone trying to hit through her right now. She is actively extending these baseline rallies completely past the physical breaking point of her opponents. We all saw her sliding deep into the corners with incredible balance. She was completely changing directions and recovering back to the middle of the baseline before Freck even finished her follow-through on the other side. That is not just good defense. That is elite clay court mastery happening right before our very eyes. It takes years for most tour veterans to learn how to move on the dirt like that. Alex is doing it right now with pure natural instinct. The tactical game plan for May 8th is completely dialed in and ready to go. Alex simply needs to keep the tennis ball incredibly deep in the court. She absolutely has to force Wang to play her shots from 2 or 3 meters behind the baseline. If she manages to extend these specific rallies past 5 or 6 heavy shots, the massive raw power of the Chinese star starts to become a very real liability. Wang will have to manually generate all of her own pace on a surface that actively fights against her every single time the ball bounces. It essentially becomes a brutal psychological battle of unforced errors. You have the hyper-aggressive flat-hitting style of Wang colliding head-on with the newly refined clay court brick wall of Eala. When a power hitter like Wang gets frustrated, she tends to overhit the ball. She desperately tries to paint the white lines to end the point early, and she ends up missing by a tiny fraction of an inch. Alex knows this fundamental truth. Her entire coaching staff definitely knows this. They are going to strategically bait Wang into pulling the trigger way too early in the rally. They want her going for wild, low-percentage highlight reel winners from terrible defensive positions on the court. Every single time Wang misses one of those desperate low-percentage shots, the internal confidence of Alex is going to grow exponentially. We are watching a true tactical masterclass take shape right now. The beautiful defensive sliding is there. The heavy topspin forehand is constantly pushing opponents deep into the shadows. She is generating massive revolutions on the ball, causing it to kick up incredibly high. Wang likes the ball sitting comfortably at waist height. Alex is going to force her to hit heavy balls up near her shoulders all day long. That is absolutely exhausting work for any player. The required physical tools are finally there. The game plan is incredibly obvious to anyone paying attention. The only question left is what is exactly going on in her head. At some point in every truly great athletic career, you have to finally face the ghost of your past failures. Wang Xinyu is the ultimate ghost for Eala. This upcoming match is no longer just about securing WTA ranking points or earning prize money in the city of Rome. It is about deep psychological warfare. If Alex steps onto that red dirt and successfully beats the exact same player who broke her heart earlier this year, she officially graduates to the next level. She goes from being just a very promising young prospect to a legitimate battle-tested force on the main tour. The entire professional locker room will look at her completely differently. The respect level will absolutely skyrocket. Champions are forged in these exact moments of adversity. You simply cannot become a top 10 player in the world without taking down the giants who previously defeated you. It is a necessary rite of passage in professional tennis. But I want to give you guys a very specific piece of exclusive insider knowledge before this incredible match actually starts. If you carefully watch the tape on Wang playing on clay surfaces, you will notice a very subtle but critical flaw in her game. Her lateral movement to her deep backhand side is significantly slower on the dirt compared to hard courts. She heavily struggles to plant her back foot firmly and generate her usual power when she is pulled wide to that specific corner. You can absolutely bet everything you have that the camp of Eala has noticed this exact same hidden flaw. They are going to ruthlessly target that deep backhand corner all afternoon. They will use heavy topspin angles to drag Wang entirely off the court and force her to hit defensively on the dead run. The stage is now perfectly set for the most compelling rematch of the entire decade. We have two incredible athletes with completely contrasting physical styles fighting for absolute survival in Italy. It is the unstoppable flat power against the immovable topspin wall. Will she crumble under the overwhelming pressure and pure power once again, or will she finally put those painful Auckland demons to rest for good? You absolutely need to be here to find out exactly how this incredible story ends. Hit that subscribe button right now so you do not miss my full tactical breakdown the exact second this massive match is completely over. We are going to analyze every single turning point together. Let me know who you have winning this epic clash down in the comments below.